It's back to school on Food News and Chews as Chef Jeremy and Sylvia visit a high school where the kids are operating their own farm and talk to the federal co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission. Then Chef Jeremy teaches kids how to make fresh fruit popsicles. That's today on Food News and Chews. Food News and Chews is brought to you by these proud sponsors. Alltech, helping farmers feed the world. Azure Restaurant and Patio, worldly influenced, locally inspired. Sullivan University, offering higher education for people with higher goals. Azure Catering, catering the most important events, yours. Critchfield Meats, fresh, high-quality, all-natural meats, guaranteed.
Hey Jeremy,
Yes.
I heard something really interesting the other day. This is true. This was a survey that was done, and they surveyed millennials, that's young people like you, and baby boomers, that's old people like me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the millennials said that in looking at foods, they're looking for local and authenticity. We baby boomers are looking for this thing that they used to call taste.
Really?
Hey, but I got an idea.
And no, there was no value word in there, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Here's what the deal is, though.
Okay, yeah.
We can find both of those, taste, authentic/local, and taste in Eastern Kentucky.
That's right.
So let's go there.
Yes, we are headed to Owsely
Hey,
County.
we're going to Owsely County, and we got a great excuse because the Appalachian Regional Commission, headed by Earl Gohl, he's called the federal co-chair,
Yes.
and they are doing a tour, a food economy tour. Jeremy, this is up our alley.
It is up our
so
alley.
exciting.
Well, it kind of makes sense and all comes into play too because of the initiatives that are going on in our state and our region as well. You've got, Governor Beshear and Hal Rogers. I mean, you've got Republicans and Democrats coming together that have recognized that developing agricultural food economies is a good way for economic stimulation. Yeah, SOAR, the shaping our Appalachian region. There's other programs too that Comer has put out. With
Comer.
Appalachia Proud. So overall, I just see a lot of excitement in this area about the possibilities of replacing income with food economy. So. It's really especially fitting too for Owsely County. And, one of the things, it's a beautiful place, but, some of the statistics that have recently come out in the census say that it's, it's the highest in the poverty level in Kentucky. So, but that doesn't mean there's nothing going on there.
That's right. I mean, and we're going to find out.
What we're seeing is they're innovators, almost incubators to this whole food economy movement. Let's get back our agriculture, let's get back our family farms, let's teach our people how to grow and then how to create food economies by buying and selling food, even in the school system.
And I've been reading a lot about that, and they are starting with the school systems. But what's really cool too is that we're finally capitalizing on something that's been going on for a long time in Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
People like Bill Best with his heirloom seeds and Joyce Penson down in Pikeville. These incredibly talented people. And Jeremy, we've been local for a long time. Moonshine. How local can you get?
Well, everybody's putting the pieces together and embracing heritage and skill, and just what their region has to offer, and it's starting to take hold. I really see that happening. So.
We're kind of like a tinkerer society.
Right.
People work with their hands.
Yeah.
Rocky hillside farms, small plots, is and that's what we'll hopefully learn a lot about in Owsely County.
Yep.
But in an age where trust is short in supply and information's bombarding us from everywhere, people really are seizing what I believe to be what Eastern Kentucky has in bucket loads, and that's real exciting, and ARC is really paying attention to that too.
Yeah, this food tour they're going through, I mean, and now this is the cool part about this is we're premiering it, or we're talking about our region, but there's initiatives like this coming all through the Appalachian region, 12, 13 states.
Now 13.
Yeah, 13 states. So let's go and check out some of the things happening in Owsely County.
We will,
and
we'll be talking to Earl Gohl, and that'll be really exciting. So, hey, let's go. Let's do an adventure. Let's go.
Sylvia, what are we doing way out here in the mountain?
Hey, Jeremy, we're going back to school. We're going to see a high school where the kids are operating their own farm and the superintendent is waiting, and I don't want to be tardy.
In our school districts, we're moving in the right direction because we're utilizing our resources. And one of our natural resources that we have here is farmland in some areas. So obviously it joins our land here at the bottom of the property, right against a river that feeds it very nice fertile soil, and we have good crops and good growth of crops from that particular point. So when I'm talking budgets to a board and I'm talking about the good things we have, good agriculture teacher that we have that is working to make sure that we have things intact for our initiatives, you know, guys, this is why we do the things we do. It's to try to make sure that we have the resources for our kids. It's a good learning experience for our kids, and it's a health and safe environment in which we all work in and enjoy coming to work with.
Hey, Jeremy, this is amazing. The kids here are actually supplementing their school lunches with the produce they're growing.
And what they can't eat, they're selling at the farmer's market.
Guys, it's a team effort when you have this many folks working together. It's not just one idea from one person. I mean, there's multiple entities that make this thing happen for us as a district. And I'm proud to say that we've got a lot of positive comments. It's been a very good community thing that we can offer 24 community gardens this year where people are using our school grounds to grow their own produce on. Okay? We've never done that before, but when the laws changed and the regs changed, you know, they used to try to keep people out of schools because of liability. This is one of the things that we've taken upon ourselves so that our folks can use, our taxpayers can use our property, which I believe in.
Hey, Jeremy, guess where we've landed?
In a greenhouse.
You never know where the Food News and Chews crew will end up.
That's right.
But here we are. We're in Owsely County,
Yes.
at the Owsely County High School, just outside of Boonville.
In their greenhouse, which so it's amazing. I'm so impressed.
Oh, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. And we've been on a tour, and of course we'll talk about all of that. But
For sure.
right now, we have before us a very, very important individual, and he's in the state. And he's going to tell us a little bit about a food economy tour, but it's Earl Gohl, and he is the federal co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission. Now, you share that with the the governor of Alabama. Right. Yes, so he's also a co-chair. And what this co-chair is up to, though, and I hear, you know, that you're doing this food economy tour, that I know you're really into food, and I know you have extensive background in government and service, and I hear there's a rumor he's a real foodie.
Well, I'm excited there is a food tour like this. So, Mr. Gohl, why food and why now?
Well, you know, in Appalachia, there are a number of incredible emerging opportunities to grow and develop the economy in healthcare and energy, manufacturing, but also in local foods. It's an area of the economy that has really, until recently, been pretty much ignored and not seen as part of the way to create jobs, create wealth, and create opportunity. And I would say that we've been in 12 states so far. This is our 12th state that we visited out of the 13. And in every state, there's an incredible amount of energy and work going on to make sure that the workers are available, that innovation is occurring, that aggregation is happening, and that there are people all throughout the region working to grow the economy.
Seems like it's very exciting. I mean, this is almost like an incubator for the future food economy as well here at the high school.
Incredible work that's going on here. Tell us a little bit about, one of our goals with Food News and Chews is to educate our viewers when we're on our television show. So tell them a bit about ARC and the important work that you do. I know this is the 12th state you said in your tour, but you do so much, and you're headquartered in Washington, D.C.
Well, you know, Appalachian Regional Commission was established by Congress, signed into law by the President 49 years ago, and included parts of 12 states and all of West Virginia. And certainly Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky is an important part of that. And the objective of the commission was to work with the governors and work with the local communities to grow their economy so that the economy of Appalachia was similar or at the same level as the economy of the rest of the nation. The idea was, and the challenge is for Appalachia not to be left behind. And in 1960, when the issues were looked at in terms of Appalachia, there were 291 of our 420 counties had poverty rates in excess of 150% of the national rate. Today, 49 years later, it's about 108. So there's progress, but we're not done. And the real challenge for us, and our job really is not to tell people what to do, but to work with communities, to listen to what their dreams are, and help them get there.
In a variety of contexts.
In a
And food
variety.
is one of them, but it is a leading role
Well, it's
now, right?
certainly something that is emerging. That schools like Owsely County that are very serious about agriculture and very serious about moving the needle in terms of their ability of their kids to not only farm but also to sell what they grow is an important part of the equation.
And you've been on a whirlwind tour here, so tell us some of the places you've been. I know, we had some...
And have you seen anything like this?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Owsely County seems to be, well, there's a lot of talk about doing these kinds of programs, farm or school to table and farm to table, and actually be able to sell produce and, teach that food doesn't exactly just come in a package, it actually grows and you can produce it. But these guys are doing it. This is...
They are definitely doing it. I would say this, that the teachers that I run into with the most energy and the most drive are the ag teachers. We've seen this in West Virginia, we've seen this in Maryland, we've seen this other places. That these are the folks who are creative, they're thinking outside the box, and they're very focused on their kids and helping their kids get to another level.
So how can we help ordinary citizens in terms of the economy, food economy, getting involved in all this? Owsely County has the school system, but how about the ordinary guy down the road?
Well, see, the great thing about food is that this is a growing part of the economy. And oftentimes we're chasing yesterday's economy, we're trying to bring back yesterday's economy. And that is very hard and it really doesn't work. The food economy and healthy foods is becoming more and more an important part of everyday life for families. So it's really our job to encourage that by making sure that the workers are there, that the infrastructure is there, whether it's a farmer's market or whether it's an aggregator or whether it's helping folks to add value to the products they grow so they can sell them all over the world.
Now, one of the things that I did, I went to a conference in November, and it's called Entrepreneurial Appalachia, Case Studies in Evolving Economic Sectors. And on page 19, that is dog-eared because I've been looking at it, they give a number of great examples in here, you do, in this booklet, and it's awesome. And again, it's filled with really good information, but there's all kinds of projects that are taking place, and that's an exciting conference, and you're doing that again in...
No, we'll do another conference probably in November this year in Alabama. But I think what we've seen on this, we've visited all kinds of things on this tour that we actually started about last year at this time. And you see folks who are working very hard at value-added products that they produce themselves. You visit a variety of commercial kitchens throughout the region where they're run by nonprofits and people come in and do their work. We have met a lot of ag agencies, agents throughout the region. Who are very key. And there's a group of them in West Virginia who are young women. And these guys take no prisoners.
Oh, love that, scorched earth, huh?
And they are very aggressive in how they, very creative, they push people, they challenge people. And as a result, where they're working has really done incredible things. A recent data point came out in Western North Carolina. Census data shows that there's been an increase of direct sales from farmers of about 60% over the last several years.
Wow.
Which is pretty incredible. Western North Carolina has been a leader, particularly the Asheville area, in local foods. But
I met you there.
Right, but that just sort of gives you an indication of what's possible here.
Sure.
Oh, that's so fabulous. Now, your hopes and dreams that would come out of this tour?
Well, I think that what we're learning here is that Kentucky also has a lot of stuff going on, has a lot of energy, and has a lot of ability to grow further. The work here at Owsely Schools is great because it engages, they have 68 students in their ag program who are very involved in growing stuff and getting ready to sell stuff.
That's awesome.
And that's really what local foods is about.
Well, we're going to be signing off.
Right.
But the final question, Mr. Gold, is, are you a foodie? You eat, right?
I enjoy eclectic foods. I do. I don't know if I can characterize myself as a foodie, but I certainly eat every day.
I think you can.
Stay tuned for his opinion on kale.
Hey Sylvia, I know you'd like to stay here all day, but we got to get going. We're going to teach a class of the Wild Thyme Kids cooking camp.
Hey, that sounds like fun. Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, Sylvia.
We've been all over the state with this Appalachian Regional Commission Food Economy Tour. We've been with the young folk today.
Well, we have, and that's where it all starts. You know, that's where the education begins. And I love what we've seen in Appalachia from, you know, the ground up with the kids learning how to grow food and just
Owsely County.
Yeah, and the opportunities it creates for food. And I think that's the key to, you know, our future is having children involved and, you know, having things like real food.
And we are surrounded by them, and they're all wondering, and she doesn't cook, and she's so old.
Well, Sylvia,
Jeremy teaches me too.
this is the perfect recipe for you because we're not going to do any cooking at all. But we are going to be using, all right, kids, what's better, you know, fresh fruit or artificial flavor? All right, see, that's all I want to hear, and that's what the future of food should be about, is like, how do we grow good, fresh,
Real fresh, yeah.
you know, food? And I did almost say local. There's not a, you know, whole lot of ways to grow these,
because that's
you
a
know,
kiwi.
in our area. But
Are you
know what?
impressed?
Fresh is better than artificial. All right, so kids, what we're going to do today is make popsicles, which are everybody's favorite summertime treat, right? And you know, everybody probably goes to the freezer section and finds those little fruit pops, and there are different fluorescent colors. You know what? Those are cool, but using fresh fruit and good fruit juice is much, much better, much tastier. Once you do try it, you'll find the difference to be astonishing. So
And look at all these pretty fruits.
yeah, and the neat thing is you get to get involved. You know, I think one thing that I like to do, I don't know about you guys, is whenever I'm involved in cooking, I like to make something from start to finish, right? Not just open a package or, you know, open a cheese pouch for macaroni and cheese, but I like to know what cheese comes from or grate my own cheese and make it from scratch. It's more fun. You get to see the finished product and you get to be more involved in it, right? So that's what we're going to do today. Everybody's got a knife, right?
Including me, Jeremy. That's pretty dangerous.
Right, so that is pretty dangerous. So what we're going to do is we're going to start fruit by fruit. It's important when we're thinking about our process when cooking is to finish one thing before we go on to the next thing. So let's start with a strawberry. Sylvia, why don't you take the top off
That seems
for us?
simple.
Oh.
Okay.
Right, and you know what? I like the way she's approached it with her fingers. You know why?
The al natural way.
Because the other way, a lot of people would take the
Yeah, because
strawberry
you take the little strawberry
and
parts
cut
away.
the end off, and you
Yeah.
see how much you get the waste parts like that, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to waste good food. So if you just reach in there and peel off the green part with your fingers, that's the best way to
did
go
something
about it.
right.
You did
Okay.
it. And
All
I don't
right.
even have to tell you.
Amazing.
You know?
It must just be osmosis.
It's the raw talent you've got, Sylvia. That's right. It's shining through.
All right.
And after that, guys, notice our popsicle molds are very small, right? So we all need to take some time and cut our fruits very, very small. You guys can do that, right? Because otherwise they're not going to fit in here. We want to get a lot of good fruit in there so we have lots more flavor, correct? So here we go. We're going to take a strawberry and try to go with like a 1/4 inch slice all the way down. And only strawberries right now. We're all
Horizontally.
going to work on strawberries.
Oh, and I got to remember my knife etiquette.
Right.
Curve your
That's right,
fingers
guys. Pull those
and rock
fingers
your
in.
knife.
Yep.
Right?
Sylvia, you're doing a julienne.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Got to be worried about your job
You know,
security.
2 years later, and here we go. You are showing
Really?
some serious
There we
progress.
go. There we go.
So, all right, kids, once we have a strawberry that's sliced, which you guys are doing great right now, take your time. No rush. This is fun. I like to stack mine back up, kind of like it was a little, you know, tower.
And it is important, Jeremy, to curve the fingers
I think it's
because it keeps them from being chopped off.
that's the most important part.
Pretty important.
It does, you know.
So remember that.
Yeah, you kind of build
Guys.
this bridge to where you don't really cut your fingertips, and that's
Yeah.
just people get, you know, they don't get careful when they stick their fingertips out and they'll get sliced. So now we're going to go the other direction, straight down,
Oh, I'm not done with this guy yet.
and make a nice little dice.
Ah,
And if one little piece falls out, just cut it up your own way. But the idea being is nice little dice like this, guys. You want to see it? All right, so let's work on some strawberries for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to peel a kiwi. And this, imagine this for all your fruits, kids. Like if it's a mango, maybe it's a papaya, maybe it's a pineapple. I like to take the very, very tips off, both ends.
Kiwis.
Stand it up.
Yeah, okay, all right.
No, go
all
ahead.
right.
Say what you're going to say. Kiwis?
Kiwis are grown where? I mean, those are like a tropical thing, right?
They are tropical things. I don't think there's ever been a kiwi grown in our area, but that doesn't mean they're not
Maybe
great.
on somebody's porch.
Right, maybe on somebody's porch. So we're going to stand our kiwi up, just like you would any other fruit, like mango, papaya,
Oh, so you
pineapple.
leave the skin on though, right?
Well, then we're going to use our knife as the peeler.
Oh.
Kind of slice down the edges this way.
Everybody got their kiwi? Do they have kiwi? No. Okay,
Now imagine
you're
the
the man.
pineapple would be really big, right, with
Yeah.
the hard skin on the outside. You do the same thing. to it.
Oh, yeah.
But that one's already done. So I'll continue to just peel this kiwi, and Sylvia, you get to cut it up.
Oh, good.
Right. I'm trying
fabulous,
not to pull
yeah,
too much
yeah.
flesh. You know, I'm taking the skin off, but not getting too deep into the meat.
Okay, so now I cut it horizontally.
You do, just like you did the strawberry, and try to get those small little dices.
How am I doing, Juror?
Fantastic. You know, the consistency in your cuts is really, really good.
I'm applying for a job in your kitchen.
You know
soon,
what? You
You
just
know?
may get it at this rate.
Uh-huh.
Good stuff. So perfect.
All right, there we go. Now, do I do it again crossways?
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. Crossways for a small
A little
dice.
slippery,
And
guys.
If you have to, just use one or two pieces at once if it gets too difficult to do all that.
Okay, that's what we'll do. Okay.
So we got a great
All right.
pile of strawberries. We're working on a pile of kiwi. We've got some nice cherry,
Mm-hmm.
and these are nice and juicy and messy. So I just want to cut those into quarters because they're small enough. Does that make sense,
Mm-hmm.
guys?
Yeah, and Jeremy, we were at Owsely County High School where they're actually growing their own food, not kiwis, but lots of other really exciting things, and did some interviews. I mean, it's a really neat thing because, you know, there's a whole generation of people coming along that see Appalachia tradition in food being a major part of that, right?
Well, and this is their opportunity to really make a difference and show what opportunity there is. Hey, kids, would you guys like it if you actually had a class in school where you have to build your own garden? And then everything that grew went to your cafeteria and you got to eat it? Yeah. That'd be cool,
Isn't
huh?
that neat?
So there we go. We've seen
That's
a
what
prime
they did,
example of that in Owsely County. And that needs to be a model for the entire nation, in my opinion, or at least the rest of our area, because it's
Well,
provides
it
such
is.
great education.
It is a part of Kentucky.
Right. It's part of our heritage, part of what we do. Fourth in the nation for the history of family farms. And now we're kind of realizing our heritage, right?
Yep, going back to that whole thing. And so now we're going to do pineapple,
We'll
huh?
do a pineapple. And these are, you know, this has been cut by somebody at the store already. Usually we talked about how to peel the fruit, which we
It comes
can
with those
do.
big scaly things.
And
you
it
just-
usually has a big core in the center, right? You know, but we can take that out with a device.
That
and we
always
can-
scares me. I always stay away from those. I'd buy these, but you say
Right.
it's but if you buy the one with the skin, it probably is fresher.
And it's cheaper too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
they've,
yeah.
They've, you know, taken the work out of it for you. They charge you for the work they do.
Sure.
Which is great convenience, but at least it's still fresh,
Okay.
right? So we're gonna take some off the edges and just kind of slice down. We're gonna have some funny little shapes because it's round and been cut weird, but otherwise we're gonna make a nice little dice.
How's everybody doing?
pineapple.
Everybody got a pineapple?
Yep,
I think we're okay. There you go.
that's great. Yeah, take your
We may
time.
need to give that a starter a little bit.
Because you
of
guys
a-
get to spend all the time you want building these. I'm just kind of going through the fruits to show you, you know, the process.
Yeah. There we go.
So now that we've got a nice array, and I love, look at this, the colors.
Oh, how
It's just
pretty!
really
How
pretty.
pretty.
actually.
And that's part of the neat thing about Appalachia, but the global world too.
Mm-hmm.
We get these kinds of things as well.
What's that?
Well, we get kiwi that we wouldn't grow, but we can mix it up with all our stuff.
Well, there's
Global,
nothing-
local
that's
at the same
right,
time.
That's right. That's what I think that's the key to like good cuisine nowadays is you get to do
Fusion,
worldly
is that what they call it?
influences
Yeah.
on your local stuff, and that's really what makes it interesting. So popsicle molds, you can find these in the store. I'm sure you can fashion them in some way if you want at your home. I've even seen people just take like ice trays and just fill them up with this kind of stuff. So we'll take little mold tops out. That's going to be the base for our popsicle. And let's just layer a little bit of fruit in each one. You do kiwi, I'll do strawberry, and we'll just kind of follow each other. And the cool part is I like to layer them because it shows those colors as
Oh,
they
it's
stack
vivid,
up.
vivid. I can't wait to see what color it turns out to be at the end.
Well,
Somebody
I
who knows
hope
more
not
about
some-
colors.
Hope not a color that we don't see here. That might be kind of scary, right?
What do they say?
Franken
Yeah,
food.
frankenfood.
Right. So we'll add a little
so.
pineapple, and I love this because the bulk of
Don't
this.
hog the pineapple,
I'm
Jeremy.
sorry. the bulk of this popsicle is just good fresh fruit, right?
Okay.
Now and kids use whatever fruits you want to. Keep in mind though, things like apples.
That's
or-
good raw.
Right? Apples or bananas may turn brown, but don't be scared of them, okay? So anyway, what we're going to do...
That's why I can't work in a kitchen. I lick my fingers, right? You do the... They teach you that in culinary school?
frown upon that, but we're known to carry lots of spoons around and taste frequently.
And
right?
antibiotics or what?
Right. We do taste a lot, but not with our fingers unless we want to go wash our hands
that's right.
immediately. So we've got layers
How
here.
pretty.
And I like to use pineapple juice. Use whatever juice you like, apple juice, orange juice, whatever. And if you guys really want to make this cool, add some vanilla bean to your juice. That'll give it a nice fresh.
Ooh.
So fill these up. We'll just do one right here, all the way to the top. Put
Okay.
your little stick in there and go to the freezer. And
Hey, Jeremy, how long does this take?
we're gonna put these in the freezer for about 2 hours till they set.
What if I keep opening the door? Will it matter?
Yeah, well, you're gonna slow it down. It's like the pot and the water boiling and all that. kind of
Shoot,
stuff.
I want them. Okay, well, let's go do it then. Let's put them in the freezer.
Okay.
Oh, goody.
All right, these are all set and frozen, guys. So kids, tell me about the popsicles. You like them? Awesome. Well, you guys can find this recipe at foodnewsandchews.com, so I hope you please check it out and make them all summer long.
And we'll be back with you the next time on Food News and Chews.
Food News and Chews is brought to you by these proud sponsors. Alltech, helping farmers feed the world. Azure Restaurant and Patio, worldly influenced, locally inspired. Sullivan University, offering higher education for people with higher goals. Azure Catering, catering the most important events. Yours. Critchfield Meats, fresh, high-quality, all-natural meats, guaranteed. If you would like a DVD copy of this episode of Food News and Chews, visit foodnewsandchews.com or email us at info@foodnewsandchews.com.